We've had a lovely seafood dinner tonight, a seafood platter, and it was for Mother's Day. And we've been left over with all this goodness. All the shells, the prawns, lobster, snow crab, and we're going to make some shellfish stock, which is the basis for when we make a seafood bisque. So since we've had it, we've actually roasted these for 15 minutes in a nice warm oven, just to kind of really enhance the flavour. The colour looks funny, but once this gets into water and with the rest of the accompaniments here, it'll taste fantastic. What we'll be adding into it is tomato paste, obviously some celery, some roughly chopped carrot, brown onion, thyme, and bay leaves, pepper, good old salt, and then some wine, which we'll be doing the Landhouse Sauvignon Blanc. Right, so it's time to get this stuff in the pot. Time to get these shells in the pot. So it's as simple as taking the shells that have been roasted, a little bit of juices that they've released, into a pot that I've got on, and then what we're going to do is add some water. My assistant here will pass me the kettle. And I'm just going to add enough water just to kind of cover the shells. That's pretty much enough. That's probably around about 4 cups that I've just put into this pot. Just push those shells down. And now we're going to heat that water, which is going to release all that roasted flavour out of those shells. So we'll leave that on there, put the lid on, come back and we'll check it in about 5 minutes time. So the shells have been on for, I've had them on for probably actually a bit longer than the 5 minutes, about close to 20 minutes. You can see there's starting to be a nice little colour coming up in that broth. So we're going to leave it on there now. I've taken the lid off. There's a lot of heat in there. I've turned it right down low. So we're going to give it another 40 minutes in there before we then add in the rest of the vegetables, etc. Into it. So we'll come back in 40 minutes and we'll add all the vegetables in. So we've had this on now for close to, well, at least half an hour. I've added a little bit more water just to take the level of the water above the shells. And the reason for that is we're going to add in all the vegetables now. So it's just as simple as, let's put in our onion. So that's 1 onion. So it's a nice large one that I've put in. Got the 1 carrot. The 2 stalks of celery. Get those in there. Okay. We'll get our spices in. So we've got our bay leaves and our thyme getting in there. And we'll get our tomato paste in. Alright, and then our peppercorns. So they're in there. We don't put the salt in just yet, we put that actually in towards the end. So get those in, just kind of dab those so they're in the water. Nice. Okay, I've just turned the heat up. We just want to get this to a simmer, and we want to simmer this for half an hour. And so that's just so the flavours can get to everywhere. So let's just turn it up a little bit. And that temperature coming out. Right now, this is quite an amazing little smell that's coming in there. So we'll come back to this in half an hour and see how it's going. So it's been about half an hour, and you see the colour of the broth there, nice and rich. I've added a few pinches of salt, and so what I'm going to do now is take out all these vegetables and all the shells, and then strain it through a tea towel. You can either do it through like a fine tea towel or through a cheesecloth. And you're just making sure that you don't take any shell or anything like that, and you're just left with the broth. and that broth can be the basis of a, say, a seafood bisque. So next we'll see is me actually then straining it. So here we are, I've got a colander set up, and then I've got the tea towel, which I've just kind of lightly pressed in there. So I'm going to take the broth, and I've taken most of the shell and all the kind of big things I could get out, pour it through the cloth, and so you could use a cheesecloth for this. There it all goes. The colour on this is fantastic. Come and have a look at this. So once it's in there, just gently pull the cloth together, and then all the liquid will just drain out. I use the colander because it holds the shape for the bowl. It's easy for me to take it out as well. So we'll let that drain out, and we'll have a look at this once it's all done. It's just going to take a couple of minutes. So we've finished filtering, let's say, the seafood stock, or the shell stock. So this will become the basis of a seafood bisque, so nice strong flavours for it, which I'll probably make in another video. This will last for a couple of days in the fridge in a container, or if you're going to not use it straight away, in those containers leave a bit of a gap and chuck it in the freezer, and it should last for obviously until you need it. So if you've got some shells hanging around, then you can make, I say, it's quite a simple stock to make. Anyway, have a crack at it. Let me know how you go.